This video is sponsored by Ridge Wallet. Now the thing about Ridge Wallets are they are very light and very sleek. I was able to actually fit mine in my front pocket while carrying 12 cards. I was never able to do that with my old style wallet due to its size. And on top of that, Ridge Wallets have 30 different colors and styles, which include my personal favorites, the titanium black, the aluminum gunmetal, and even the sleek looking carbon fiber. Now these would make an excellent gift for Father's Day, and right now you can actually save 10% by heading over to ridge.com/Gamesky and just use the code Gamesky at checkout. And another huge bonus about Ridge Wallets is they have a lifetime guarantee. And again, I would like to thank Ridge Wallets for sponsoring today's video. Alright guys, so today we're going to check out the brand new Skullcandy Sesh Evo. Now when we checked out the original Skullcandy Sesh, they came in at $50 and were an okay pair of truly wireless earbuds. They definitely needed some improvements here and there, and so we're going to see if the Evo makes those improvements and if it's worth the $10 difference. But let's go ahead and check out some of those features and what it is you get inside the box. Now the Sesh Evo has the Tile integration where you can download the Tile app and you can locate where your earbuds are at all times. Now that's a really nice feature, especially in a pair that's only $60. So if you do happen to leave them somewhere, if you're having some trouble finding them in the house, it definitely makes it easier to locate. Now these do have Bluetooth 5.0 and they have an excellent connection with any device that I used. And I also didn't experience any lag with watching movies or videos, and that's with using it on an Apple device and an Android device. Now as far as the IP rating, they come in rated at IP55, so this is definitely a pair that you can go out and wear if you sweat heavily or if it starts to rain, you're gonna be fine. Now as far as what you're getting inside the box, you are getting the usual small, medium, and large silicone ear tips, and I'm happy to say that the charging cable is a USB-C cable. Now one huge improvement on these over the original is the battery life. You now can get 5 hours on the earbuds individually with around 24 hours total using the case, where on the original ones you only got 3 hours on the earbuds and only 10 hours total using the case. So definitely a huge improvement when it comes to the battery life. Now moving over to looking at the case, I really like the case. It's pretty small, pretty compact. You can see that on the back you have your USB-C input, and then around on the front you have your pairing button and you have your 4 indicator lights. That way you can kind of gauge about how much battery life is left on the case. Now moving over to looking at the earbuds, I really like the design of the Sesh. In fact, it's probably my favorite designed earbud out of the Skullcandy lineup, and it is also one of the most comfortable. Now as far as the button controls, you are able to control everything, but I am not a huge fan of the button placement. Now, because when you're mashing this, it kind of feels like you're mashing them into your ear, and the best way to use these is by putting your index finger kind of behind the earbud so that you're able to push the button and not push these into your ear. It's just not one of my favorites, so I would like to either see touch control or either place the buttons on the outside edge of the earbud. Now one of the other new features is one of the controls they've added on the earbuds is you now have 3 different EQ settings to choose from, as to where with the original you only got the sound that came out of the box, and now you have a music mode, a movie mode, and a podcast mode. Now it's set to music right out of the box, and to be honest, I felt that movie mode definitely improved the sound on these, and it was actually my favorite EQ setting. And now for you guys that like to use your earbuds individually, and the original ones only allowed you to use, I believe it was the left by itself, but now on the Sesh Evo you can use either the left or the right by themselves. So that's going to make a lot of people happy. And as far as the mics on here, they are single mics on the earbuds, so there is no mic to cancel out the outside surroundings, but I still feel the mics do a decent job. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. Alright guys, so here is the mic test using the Skullcandy Sesh Evos. I think these are doing a very good job of picking up my voice considering they're using single microphones, and I don't think anybody on the other line will have any complaints. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played in the background, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. Like I said earlier, out of the box, it comes set to the music EQ setting, and to be honest, that wasn't my favorite. I felt like it pushed the mids way too forward and there wasn't enough bass in the sound, which is kind of odd for a Skullcandy device. But the treble also just didn't have a whole lot of life to it, and in general it just kind of sounded dull. But once I messed around and switched to the different EQ settings, the podcast just brought out a lot more clarity in vocals and just kind of killed the bass altogether. But obviously, if you're listening to podcasts, you do want it to focus in more on the vocals. But when you switch it over to movie mode, it added so much more life to the sound that I just left it on that setting and I was completely happy. It just had a much more impactful bass. It was really nice and punchy. The mids still sat pretty forward. It never felt like the mids ever took a back seat to any of the frequencies, but it also brought out more life in the treble. So you just had a very clear sound. I still would have liked to have seen a little bit more boost in the treble, but the bass that these had mixed with the very nice push forward mids and a clean treble made it for a much more pleasing sound than the other two EQ settings. Now, when it comes to the Soundstage and the sound imaging, I think these are just okay in that department. It only felt like you were in a medium-sized room. These definitely don't have a very open sound. And then as far as being able to tell where the instruments are coming from, again, it didn't sound cluttered or muddy, and that's a huge plus, especially considering the bass that these are able to do. But I'm able to tell where different instruments were coming from, and I was really pleased with the sound. Now, as far as my cons with these, I absolutely do not like the button placement on here, and I really would like to see a little bit more boost in the treble. But outside of that, for a $60 pair of earbuds that you're getting a much more improved sound mixed with better battery life, I like the tile integration, and then I also like that you're able to use the left or the right by themselves. So it's really nice the improvements that they made, and for the slight $10 difference, I would definitely recommend the Evos over the original Sesh. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Skullcandy Sesh Evo. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.